They're firing at something. What
the hell are they shooting at?
Bro, they have stormtrooper accuracy.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
Oh, they're
Super
firing
Saiyan?
at that.
It's Goku.
Oh, they hit him. Okay. Oh yeah, appreciate this by the way. Cutscenes in daytime, right? Real time.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
I never noticed that up until you mentioned it.
I can't believe Sonic so shamefully ripped off Dragon Ball Z and nobody talks about it.
No, freaking like it's still the game still does the day and night system in like in some cutscenes, not all of them, but most of the cutscenes. But that intro to Chaos Island's always in daytime, but it'll still continue on to whatever the time cycle is at your thing.
The cutscenes that don't apply to the day-night cycle are pre-rendered ones.
Yeah. So like the first time that I did play it, I was in daytime when I got here, but
a lot of the pre-rendered cutscenes
right now.
don't even show outside, to my knowledge. Like if I recall which ones are pre-rendered, like the Eggman ones are all pre-rendered, but he's not even fucking.
Actually, I think because I can actually tell because of like mods that I've used and stuff. I think the Eggman ones are actually in game.
Why?
I don't know.
What purpose does that even serve?
Which ones are pre-rendered? Because I thought all of them were
pre-rendered and what's not.
Yeah.
Because the lighting looks pretty much identical, in my opinion.
The difference between the pre-rendered and in-game ones are like pretty small. Like it's kind of hard to tell, but there are pre-rendered ones and
you can definitely tell
ones.
what's pre-rendered or what's in-game in Sonic 06. Let me tell you, where the production quality on the actual the pre-rendered cutscenes looks absurdly good, and the actual in-game ones look worse than Adventure 2.
It's weird. Sonic 06 has like 3 different cutscenes. There's like the in-game looking ones, there's the pre-rendered ones, and then there's like a weird in-between one that's like not the high fidelity pre-rendered, but like it's...
Oh, right.
Yeah.
The one that like where Shadow and Silver go back in the past to Aquatic Ruin.
That's a good example. It's not like the high fidelity like pre-rendered ones you see like other times, but it's like a weird in-between of like in-game and pre-rendered.
That's weird.
It's so annoying because Sonic 06 has a really good-looking intro for the time it came out. And then the actual game's the main cutscenes that through most of the story literally look worse than Adventure 2.
The giant
because it doesn't have all of the good art direction things that made Adventure 2 shine through.
Hear me out.
Like the older graphics. Sonic 06 is a visually fucking
the giant enemy spider.
But yeah, no, Sonic 06 was the last Sonic game to use motion capture for their stuff.
Yeah, thank God. It looks awful.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind them like trying it again though, because really,
motion capture was a fad in the late 2000s.
Yeah, that's true.
Like it really was.
Motion capture is not fat. Don't insult it like that.
It stayed around longer than in video games than it did in movies. But remember how there was like a few? There was, yeah, but it's not like a good example is. Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor use heavy use of motion capture, and it looks really good. Like,
yeah, because I figured
you can tell it's Cameron Monaghan. It captures all of his things. It looks realistic. It looks like him. It looks less so as other characters.
The standards of motion capture today are better than they were back in the Adventure 2 days, you know?
Do you remember when everyone was trying to use it instead of actually animating films? Like Disney made a couple movies.
When did Disney make a... What?
When did Disney make a good movie?
Mars Needs Moms is a good example of an awful motion capture movie that looks absolutely terrible.
I remember the...
Oh, yeah. Oh.
It is the biggest commercial flop Disney has ever had.
I remember the book though.
That shit was Disney? I didn't know that.
Was. Yeah, they purposefully try to get their name off of it, if I recall.
Oh,
didn't do that shit. Okay. Pixar.
It's not Pixar.
I said, who didn't do that shit?
Well, Pixar still does a lot of lazy shit now, but
they don't do motion capture.
No.
Market their own movies. What's that?
You know what sucks is that I heard Elemental is actually like good.
Well, you know, it's okay, probably. I haven't seen it.
Dude, just because it's not like Across the Spider-Verse doesn't mean it's not a good movie.
Well, it's not a great movie, and that sucks because Pixar made nothing but great movies for like 10 years straight. And then they started making mediocre movies, and now they're just making solid movies.
Did you watch it?
I've watched everything to come out of Pixar other than that at this point. And that's just because I haven't watched it yet.
Motherfucker, you're saying it's not good, but you haven't seen it.
I'm not saying it's not good. I'm saying that...
You're saying it's not amazing, but you still haven't seen the movie.
Bro, you say that The Godfather is amazing despite not seeing it. Just because other people say it is.
Yeah, and that's different.
That's the exact same logic. No, it's not.
No, The Godfather's been out for like years, and there's like common public consensus on it. Nobody watched Elemental when it came out. You're forming your opinion on fucking nothing.
As
people told you it's bad.
Yes.
Wait, forming opinion on nothing as opposed to forming on other people's consensus, not your own. Okay,
like,
so which one do we agree with more?
Seen it. I've had 5 different friends see it and tell me that it's kind of boring.
Okay.
And that it's nowhere up to par with like literally every other game-changing animation film to come out this year or in the end of last year.
I mean, I'm sure the animation of it itself is really impressive.
I don't know. Pixar's animation quality has been less interesting in the last 10 years.
Just based off of the trailers and the clips I've seen of the movie, the animation is really, really good. Like the characters look really, really good for the idea of them being elements.
It does, but like
that doesn't mean the story's good. But like Pixar did well with it. It's not
doesn't
like
mean
super,
that the idea
it's not
hasn't already
super
been
like
adapted
breaking
like
the idea
50 different times.
It's not like breaking the idea of animation like Across the Spider-Verse did, but you don't need to do that to be good animation.
Here's a fun example. Remember the Flash, the Elemental Flash animations from like 12 years ago that have the exact same concept and character ideas to a T?
Please don't crash.
Which ones?
Again. Please don't crash again. Please
That's a game. That's not a Flash animation.
It's a Flash game with Flash animations in it.
Okay. They don't look the same.
No, they legitimately are the exact same things. It's people made of elements in a romance.
Okay.
In a romance comedy.
Not really a romance.
It totally is.
That's not a comedy. It was just a puzzle game, dude.
Yeah, not
There
really.
were funnies in the fucking. There was funnies in the story. Did you never play the sequel ones?
I don't know if I finished.
There are sequels.
There were sequels. Yeah, there was a shitload of them. They were pumped out, and most of them sucked.
Also, was that one about racism? I don't think so.
Dude,
God, freaking! Who knew that this would be the episode where two brothers
Elemental is about
racism?
Well, you know, so was Zootopia, and that came out 7 years ago.
Was
so
Zootopia
they didn't need to
good?
tell it again. Yes, Zootopia's
Well, maybe it's
great.
about different parts of racism than they covered in Zootopia. Did you ever think about that? You can have different ways of saying racism bad.
You can. That's true.
The episode where two brothers go at it between different animations and movies and all the other shit that you can come up with.
It isn't realistically. It isn't actually racism. Zootopia and this movie are not racism. It's more about the idea of tribalism as a whole. But whatever.
Oh my fucking god!
It's. I don't know, man. Zootopia is literally...
They're not racist, Caedon. The races would be the different species, not the carnivores and predators. It's tribalism that they're critiquing.
I suppose.
That's dietism.
It is heavily based around the idea of minority and majority dynamics, as well as the idea of fear-based fear-based campaigning in politics and corruption.
Okay.
And in that way, Zootopia's villain is one of the best aged villains in Disney's film history.
And how many of this did you get from information from video essays?
Well, I actually... What's funny is I walked out of the theater it came out at the perfect time too, because it came out in 2016.
Beastars
which
is
we
still
all know
better
what
than
happened in
Zootopia.
2016. And it aged like a fine wine. And I actually, I drew those conclusions partly in the theater then, and also because I revisited the movie because they made the series of shorts that came out, and because they announced an actual sequel now.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. If I
Furry
recall.
Bait 2. Okay.
Beastars is better than Zootopia.
Beastars is really edgy.
Okay, but it has like better like explorations of the concepts.
It also was
as a
directly
whole.
inspired, if I recall, by Zootopia.
I'm pretty sure the manga started before Zootopia came out.
But the series, though, because the
The
series
series
is
is a
not the same as the
direct
manga.
adaptation of the manga.
It's not it's in the same way that Tokyo Ghoul is a direct adaptation of
Tokyo
its
Ghoul's
manga.
not a direct adaptation. That's the whole point. Is that it's a shitty adaptation that doesn't follow the source material. Beastars does.
Have you read it?
Yes.
Okay, fair.
Not the whole thing, but a fair bit of it.
Oh my fucking god!
You talk a lot of shit about
what
furries
have-
for being somebody that enjoys Beastars.
What have we done?
I'm not turned on by the characters, so it's fine.
Someone
That's
clip
not
that.
what defines it, bro.
To clip it and cut it out of context.
I'm not turned
Does
on by
be-
them.
Does being turned on by anime characters make you a weeb? No.
Yes.
It's the same concept. No.
Yes.
Well, does being so you're saying that you're a weeb because you are attracted to fictional animated characters.
That's not the only thing that makes me a
that's-
weeb. But it does make me a weeb.
Would you still be a weeb if you didn't have an attraction, but you just liked anime? Because that's the same thing with furries.
Liking anthropomorphic animals is not being a furry. Being a furry is the attraction part of it.
A lot of, everyone that's ever defined that would disagree with you, but
Okay, so you're saying someone who liked the movie Zootopia is a furry?
Yes.
No.
What?
By definition, yes.
No.
What? By whose definition? What?
That Urban
That's fucking
Dictionary,
bullshit.
baby.
You're just wrong.
No, no. I have no correlation with any of the media that you guys have even talked about in the last 5 minutes. But no, that is straight up. Okay, look, we're doing a fucking Sonic game. We all know the fan base of that, the Rule 34 fan base
Like
of it.
Sonic
Right?
doesn't make you a furry because you can just enjoy the games and plot lines.
Well,
you don't. It's
well,
not
here's
the
the
fact
thing.
that he's a.
Here's the
I
thing.
wish I could,
What
though.
Actually makes you one. What actually makes you one by textbook is your choice to call yourself by that title.
Okay, sure, I agree with
Just
that.
like with a weeb. With a weeb, you are not a weeb until you call yourself. I don't call myself one, even though I like some anime. Because I don't consider myself one. You know? It's entirely based on what you call yourself. Now, there's some root of that to where you're not going to be considered to be legit.
I really think that's a matter of stupidity that you've just said to me, because at what point is a fetus in the womb a human being? A matter of opinion? I don't think that's. I don't know about that.
Why did you
It's just
bring
like,
it
you know
to
what, I don't feel like
abortion?
being a human right now.
Okay,
You're
no,
comparing being
yeah.
a weeb or a furry to abortion.
I've
You
brought
sound
in,
like a-
I've brought in an analogy.
It's a really dumb one too.
No, that one makes sense actually. No, because there's still some objective thing. You can't call yourself a fucking dog or whatever,
Well,
and
now you're just
automatically a dog.
Well, now you're bringing in the question of, do we validate transgender people? And the answer by that
No,
logic would be
we've
no,
never
and
done
would
that
be
in
a
the
moral
history of
shit
ever.
thing to say.
No, because that's a matter. That's a different matter.
No, it's a matter of self-identity of your hobbies.
A label of whether or not you are a furry is not a self-identity.
It's literally a label it's literally labeling a hobby.
Hey, audience, can you tell who here is mentally ill?
I don't know about that one. I don't think that
Bro.
being a furry is a hobby.
Bro, What is it
I'm
then?
so glad.
Is being a pedophile a hobby, bro?
It's not the same thing!
I don't know, man.
Dude. Ethan, please tell me you're agreeing with him out of satire, because this is just fucking comic gold, his opinion on this. Because it is literally fucking Reddit, 4chan or behavior.
I've never been on any of the sites, but I'm sorry to say, buddy.
It is so funny because so you're saying that you being a weeb is not just a hobby, it's a part of your identity and it's a mental illness because by definition it associates you with mentally ill people.
I've never heard the term weeb under hobby before. What?
Yeah,
so you're saying it's a part of
it is a trait that's it's something that defines you.
Bro. If you are willing to define yourself by content that another person makes, you are
a label is not a hobby, it's a label. It's it is a defining thing.
They're two separate things.
Bro,
furry is a label you put on yourself. It is not a hobby. The hobby is the act of like watching Zootopia every weekend or something. If you were like that would
Sonic.
be a hobby. But the fact that you like anthro characters is not a hobby.
Oh my god.
That's a character trait.
This guy is mentally ill.
Dude,
what do you mean?
I mean, like, there's a lot of really good videos.
Oh, there's a really lot of good videos. Oh man, no, you already have the weeb glasses on. No, I'm sorry. No, we cannot continue this conversation seriously anymore.
No, like, I'm dead serious.
I want to hear a reference to a video in order.
If you are looking at the idea of being of being a weeb as different from the idea of being a furry, they're literally the same thing. They are a label placed on the idea of.
They're not the same
never
thing.
said that. Holy shit!
He did. Gavin did.
I literally did. No, I did not. No, I did not.
Oh my god.
They are the same thing, but that's the whole point. Is that neither of them is a hobby. They're both labels.
They're both labels, but you're calling one of them a mental illness and calling one of them pedophile.
No, I'm calling all of them mental illness.
You directly
I say anything was a mental illness.
You directly compared being a furry to being a pedophile.
That was a joke, bro. That was a joke.
You see, the problem is it's a joke that you did not play off as a joke, and you played in a completely serious tone.
That is a semi-serious joke.
It's semi-serious because there's a lot of...
I don't think furries are pedophiles, dude. I think they like anthropomorphic animals.
Yes, by definition, you enjoy content with anthropomorphic characters.
No. That's not it. If I like content that has antho characters because I like the themes and story of that content, that is different from me enjoying it because of the anthropomorphic animals. There's a difference.
Okay, you're using like in a way too romantic definition here. All right. I like Sonic, but not like that. All right.
That's what I'm feeling about. That's why I'm disagreeing.
I like Beastars because I like the themes it explores about tribalism. I don't like Beastars because there's a wolf guy in it.
Gavin, the show would not work if it didn't.
Okay, but that's because that's a
different matter.
That's a tool used to tell the story. It's not because that's the tool that I like it. It's because that tool is used in a good way. There's a difference between that and me being like, oh, I love the wolfmen in that show.
You see, the way that you framed it originally, though, was like it being a sexual weird attraction thing, which is a common misconception thing and could be said equally about anime. Yet is widely however, because anime has an extremely wide appeal, it is more often disagreed with publicly by larger people.
Wait,
online.
What is the thing that they disagree with about anime?
The idea of calling all weebs sexually deprived losers and calling all anime this sexually...
No, bro, weebs are sexually deprived losers.
It is, however, I'm not going to deny that there's a lot of them out there, but are you seriously going to say that the entire fandom is based around that?
Yeah, because
I wouldn't.
No, Okay,
No,
and
that's not what defines being a weeb. I don't think that being a furry is actually about the sex part.
Also, we have to define fan base here.
It is about liking on a certain degree the idea of anthropomorphic animals more, and they elevate the story to you, or they elevate whatever.
I don't know if it's even that they elevate the story necessarily. It's more so that you like it's visually cool. And
yeah, that's fair
it can enhance stories that it's telling. It drastically enhances.
Yeah, but I'm saying if it's like the exact same story that could be told without them, had them, you'd like it more. Then you're probably a furry.
I don't know, man. Like, I feel like a lot of people that would consider themselves one don't actually feel that way, where they're like, oh, it needs to have this and I will like it more.
Oh no, I don't think it needs to, but like if I showed you an anime and it was just a normal anime, and then I showed you the same anime, same characters and everything except they were anthropomorphic, and you liked the anthropomorphic one more, I'd say that you can be called a furry.
Well, that would just be a case of like essentially the same thing as liking a specific art style.
What definition of like are we using now? Hold on.
We're using like
you enjoy it more. You enjoy it more because it has them in it. Is what I'm saying.
Enjoyment or romantical?
Enjoyment.
Amen.
Okay, no, there's a difference there. Okay, like if you enjoy the art for what it is, then you're not any of those freaking labels.
Yeah, if you're no, that's my whole point. Is that you're enjoying it specifically for the sake of the fact it has.
And that's why my argument of having labels. And that's why my argument of having labels being self-imposed based on what you want to be called totally rings true, because you liking the art style and character design and Sonic being an anthropomorphic character, because it would be stupid if he wasn't, because it's so drilled into our heads that he's a fast hedgehog.
No, that's because it's already
the Sonic Man.
What Sonic is. I'm talking about. That doesn't count.
Are you telling me Sonic would have been nearly as successful if it was a guy?
I don't care if it would have been as successful if you could tell the same story. If you played Sonic Frontiers, right, and you had never heard of Sonic before, but you liked it more because he's a hedgehog versus if it was the same story but with a non-hedgehog, then you're a furry because you like it more because he's a hedgehog.
Because of the hedgehog factor. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
But because we know Sonic's a hedgehog, playing a Sonic game without the hedgehog would be like it's not what the character is.
Also, it should be stressed. Also, it should be stressed. If you're a kid, you like anything. But if you're in the age demographic that this is going for, then sure, you like anything. Okay. But if you're like 20 something, okay, then a label is going to be put on you. Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome to Sonic Frontiers, everybody.
Oh, dude, that episode was not about Sonic.
No, it wasn't.
It was about furries and labels.
But here's my problem, Gavin, with your mindset is that what if you didn't want to be called a weeb, even though you like anime, but everyone else insists that you should be?
Well, then who gives a shit? Okay,
who gives a shit? You're a weeb. That's what you are. That's what that label means.
Okay.
No. Also, why do you
like? You can just say to someone, I'm not comfortable being called that, and they should probably respect that. But that is what you are. Like, it is accurate.
And also, who gives a shit? Why should you be worried what others think of you?
True.